Put it all together and welcome Kate Preston.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is this on? Yeah. Right, here we go. Has anybody ever wondered why?
That's not working.
Not working. Okay.
There you go.
Has anybody ever wondered why some of the British country roads, lanes, footpaths, and whatever take so many twists and turns? Yeah, if you look on the Ordnance Survey map, you'll see all different shapes outlined by some of the roads and various byways. Now, there's been several terrestrial zodiacs discovered in this country. The Glastonbury Zodiac was the first one discovered in the 1920s by Katherine Emma Maltwood. This is the Glastonbury Zodiac. Where's my pointer? If you notice here, there's a dog figure on the outside, but all the other signs of the zodiac are around Glastonbury Tor. All 12 of the signs of the zodiac, but there's always a dog. Since then, there's several other zodiacs have been discovered, mainly East Anglia, South Wales, Southern England, Northwest England. The largest of this is the one I've discovered, the Lamanche Zodiac, which stretches from near Garstang right the way down to the Cheshire, Staffordshire border, going through Greater Manchester across Anglezarke Moors. I called it the Lamanche Zodiac because it goes through the three modern counties of Lancashire, Manchester, and Cheshire. Okay, most terrestrial zodiacs appear either in a circular or elliptical pattern, usually around some central object. For instance, Glastonbury is centered around Glastonbury Tor, the Pendle Zodiac is centered around Pendle Hill, and so on. This one is unique in that it's not on a oval or circular shape. It's more in a sort of winding along a ley line, which is sort of 30 degrees off north-south. But the focal point here is Roundloaf on Anglezarke Moor, which is the second largest man-made mound in Britain. All the figures north of that point are facing south. All the figures south of that point are facing north. So obviously it makes it a major focal point. And all 12 signs are in the correct sequence from Aries all the way through to Pisces. Now, most terrestrial zodiacs, they either have the stars represented or the shapes represented. This has both. So again, it's another unique feature. We have four figures associated, external figures, associated with the zodiac. There's a whale there, there's a dragon, there's a phoenix, and a dog. There's always a dog. At least 10 of the known zodiacs, including the Winchester one, which I've worked on, fall in a circle, 96 miles radius, with its centre near Coventry, where there's another zodiac. This one seems to, it's sort of the shape of a sword with the figures at the top there, sort of form the shape of a sword and goes into this great circle. So I'm wondering perhaps it might be the sword in the stone. If that's the case, that makes me the true ruler of England. Also, there's other connections with the Arthurian legend on this zodiac. And I don't know whether you know it, but according to this book, Lancashire gets its name from Lancelot's Shire, so another connection. And Martin Mere, over by Ormskirk, is supposed to be the lake of the Lady of the Lake legend, where Excalibur was thrown in. So, another Arthurian connection. Okay, a little bit of how I discovered the zodiac. I got into ley line research in the 70s, and I was looking for ley points, marking them on the map around the Bolton area. I'm confusing myself, which is just there. And I happened to notice, lay points. These sort of things are the lay points. Prehistoric mounds, markstones, moats, castles, ancient beacon points, and a lot of old churches that are based on prehistoric sites. So I was looking for all these different places, marking them on the map, and I just happened to notice, because I've studied astronomy in the past as well, that a lot of the points around Bolton area seem to be very closely related to the stars of Leo the Lion. So I've got this book, has one page for each constellation, so I checked them, and they were very, very accurately, very close. So I thought, well, if Leo's there, maybe the next adjacent signs are there. So I started looking for them, expecting them to be in a circular or elliptical pattern. Lo and behold, instead of going that way, they went back that way up towards Preston way, Anglezarke Moors. Anyway, I found all 12 signs, plus these external signs as well. So we come to the first one, the Garstang dog. That's what I call it, because it's the shape of a dog. You can see the nose there, the ear, the front paws, legs there. There's an area there called Wag Hill, or is it down here? Somewhere near the tail called Wag Hill. So, and this here is Greenhalgh Castle near Garstang, and that marks the point of Sirius, which is the brightest star in the night sky. Then we come on to the dragon. You can see the mouth of the dragon there, little horn, wings there, tail coming right the way through to St Michael's on Wyre, and through Billsborough on St Michael's on Wyre. And again, the stars of the constellation of Draco. The dog and the dragon have particular places in myth and legend, and in the pyramids, of course. Some of the tunnels in the Great Pyramid of Giza point up towards Sirius or the constellation of Orion, and some go the other way to Ursa Minor, which is where the pole star's there, and the main star in Draco, the dragon. So connection there as well. The filed whale. The mouth of the whale there is right next to Blackpool Airport. The fin comes all the way down there through Lytham, and the body goes right across Kirkham, and the tail comes over here near Preston. Now we come to Aries. This is the first sign of the zodiac proper. You can see it here. There's the head of the ram. The head of the ram there, the ear. The eye is Broughton Old Hall. The back of it is the main A6. There's the stars again. And legs following streams, brooks, tracks, pathways, whatever. Like I said, when I found the stars, then I decided looking for the shapes, because I realized some had the shapes, and this one has both. Taurus. Tell me if I'm rushing this too much. This is Taurus. It's not very clear because it's upside down. Let's see if I can find... That is the shape. So if you put it up that way, you can clearly see a bull shape. Now there's the legs. Runs around. One of the legs there runs around Black Bull Lane in Fulwood. It's right the way through Preston and along the River Ribble and the River Douglas there. There's a lot of pubs in Preston with the name Bull in the name. There's the Black Bull, the Old Black Bull, the Bull and Royal, the White Bull, the Black Bull again at Warnledale or Bamber Bridge or wherever that is. Now we come to the Pleiades. This is another major constellation, well, part of Taurus. It's another star group in the sky which seems to be sometimes associated with UFOs, extraterrestrials, but it's also one of the closest star groups to our solar system. I've noticed in Leyland, most of the churches in Leyland form the same pattern as these main bright stars of the Pleiades, which is another coincidence, or is it? And in Leyland, there's a pub called the Seven Stars. Well, there's two. There's the old Seven Stars and the Seven Stars. So another connection there. Now we come to Gemini, the twins. It's not so clear on the map, but it's clear on that. You can see two people kissing. Looks like two people kissing, lovers. Because Gemini is often, rather than being twins, they are depicted as lovers. This is near Chorley, Withnell area. There's the head there of the girl, the head there of the boy, and their feet are up here. And Chorley's just there. And you'll see just in the corner here, that's Roundloaf on Anglezarke Moor. On the other side of Roundloaf, we have Cancer. Now you can see that clearly as a crab. Now this is another unique feature in this zodiac. In most zodiacs, the crab is depicted as something else, like in the Glastonbury it's depicted as a ship, I think, and various others. In the Pendle Zodiac it's depicted as Diana with the dog, but here it's depicted as a crab. That's Winter Hill just there, as Roundloaf just there. As you can see, now this one's pointing north towards Roundloaf, all the others were facing south. Horwich there. Now, moving on to the next one, Leo. Now this is fairly clear. There's the lion's mane there, its mouth, front paws, its tail going up there, and these are the stars of the constellation Leo in almost exact place as they wouldn't appear in the sky. Virgo. Now this is represented as, it looks like a woman in sort of traditional Welsh dress with the sort of the hat there, the dress, the flowing dress, little feet poking out at the bottom. This is over Swinton, near Greater Manchester, and Eccles at the bottom. And again, the stars match those of the real sky. Libra. Now, Libra is meant to be the scales, but in this one, it looks more like some sort of bird figure. It could be some sort of scales, but I doubt it. It looks more bird-like. So I'm not sure. But the thing is, around now we get into the big city areas, a lot of the roads have been moved and changed because of civilization. So we don't know. Scorpio. Now this has been grubbed up a lot because of the civilization. I mean, around here there's the Carrington work, so there's a lot of it been lost there. There's its tail, there's its head, and there's the two sets of claws there. This is Sale, Greater Manchester, Altrincham, Hale. Sagittarius, the archer. This, again, is represented by a centaur, which is the traditional representation of Sagittarius. There's the bow, and there's a ley line going there that follows the flight of the arrow, which heads straight towards the Pendle Zodiac. So there's a connection there. Coming back to Gemini, that's very close to the Pendle Zodiac as well. In fact, it's the nearest point of this zodiac to the Pendle Zodiac. Capricorn, the fish-tailed goat. There's its head, there's its horn, back of its body, and the little fish tail, and its front paws there. And the stars again, Wilmslow in Cheshire. So we're getting back out into the countryside again. Aquarius. Now this is a strange one because Aquarius is usually the water carrier, but in this one it seems to be represented by a bird and a hare. Now, some representations has it as a squirrel, but I believe it is a hare because there's a lot of places around here with hare in the name. Let me see if I can find some examples. Yeah, there's places like Hare Hill, Fritton Town, Hare Barrow Farm, Harden Park, and Warren. So, again, it's a hare. But the hare represents new beginnings, like spring, and this is Aquarius, which obviously, as most people have heard, that Aquarius represents the coming golden age in astrology. Now, the bird here, I think, represents Merlin because Merlin could transform into a bird, and I think this represents him. Plus, this is Alderley Edge area, and there's the legend of the wizard at Alderley Edge, as described in this book. Apparently, there was a farmer who was on his way from Mobberley to Macclesfield to sell a horse, and he was accosted by this man in long grey robes at Alderley Edge, and who offered to buy the horse off him. And he said, "No, I'll get a better price at market." So he carried on to Macclesfield, didn't sell it, so he trekked all the way back again and met the same guy on the way back. This guy then offered him the same amount of money he was offered before, so he bought the horse, and, sorry, I've lost the signal there. It's me talking too much. So he bought the horse, and then he took him to these gates, well, a rock, and he banged his staff 3 times, the rocks parted, and some big iron gates opened up, and he took him inside, where, according to this legend, the Knights of the Round Table were there, interred, asleep, awaiting the return of the Golden Age, which is the age of Aquarius. So another Arthurian connection. Now we come to Pisces, the fish. Now this is represented not so much by 2 fish as the usual representation, but a whale and a fish. There's the whale there. This sign covers a massive area. There's a lot of fish-related place names around here as well. Sorry, that was the fish. This is the dolphin. You can see there's its beak, its head, fin around Congleton, and there's the tail. And there's some of the roads connect, sort of a connection between the 2 of them. Now, going back to Roundlow, which is the focal point. This is from the Google Maps. You can see how clear it stands out there. There's at least 22 ley lines radiating from this point, so it's obviously a very important point. What it exactly represents, I don't know, but some of the ley lines head towards Martin Mayor area, where the Lady of the Lake legend exists. Some go all the way across the other side of the country, some go south. They go everywhere. It's probably one of the most number of ley lines from one point in the country. There's a close-up of it. There has been excavated by archaeologists, and what they found in it is in Bolton Museum. It was a burial mound, but obviously it probably predates Anglo-Saxon burials. Okay, these are some of the other zodiacs that we know about throughout the country. Glastonbury, Winchester, Preseli, North Wales, which is where the stones from Stonehenge came from. Bodmin, Pendle, Kingston, which is another one that Katherine Maltwood, no it wasn't, it was Mary Kane who carried on Katherine Maltwood's research. Hebden Bridge, I've been up there. I've found a couple of signs on the Wirral, but whether they form a zodiac or not, I've only found Virgo and Scorpio. Coventry, of course, as I mentioned before, there was the massive, great big circle, 96 miles. Just let me get the other map. hold it up, it's easier. Yes, please. It's only for a couple of minutes. Okay, that's the McDonald Zodiac. This is my zodiac going all the way down here. Now, most of the zodiacs form on a great circle with about 96 miles radius, including the Glastonbury one, and these in East Anglia. But the centre of that zodiac, that centre of that circle, seems to be right here at Coventry, which is the site of another reported zodiac. So, like I said before, it's probably, in my opinion, the sword in the stone. Okay. I know it was pretty brief, but I welcome any questions and comments. See if I can answer them.
I'm not sure if it was working.
I'll come over here so I'm not in the light.
Just a little comment. Back in the 80s, when I lived in Bolton, round life, one of the local stories that was told me by more than one person was allegedly the tomb of a wizard. And people claimed that every year it took a life, and that every year somebody's found dead on Anglezarke with no apparent cause. And certainly back then, there was at least once a year somebody was found dead, of alleged natural causes on Anglezarke. So whether you believe it or whether you don't. But I always found it interesting.
Well, I hadn't heard that one. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, another connection with the wizards and the Arthurian legends. Thank you.
Hi, really interesting. I was just wondering, as we have 13 months and 13 moons, how Ophiuchus fits in with the zodiac, because I'm born 12/12, which is in the sign of Ophiuchus, and the symbol, serpent god, serpent goddess, and you spider. I find it fascinating. I just wondered if that came into your research at all, the 13th sign.
No,
It sits between Sagittarius and yeah. It's only a small sign, but it was taken out deliberately. I think it was by Emperor Ptolemy some hundreds of years ago. I feel to disconnect us from nature because it's in the heavens. And we've had just recently in January 2 moons. So it should have 13 months. And 13 is such a really powerful number, is it? Which is why we've been told it's unlucky. Okay.
13 is my lucky number. If you look at my car outside, you'll see it's L13 and they're my initials. I haven't found that, but I'll look for it because, it is... How many days does it take the sun to go through there? Not very long, is it? About a week? Okay, yeah, I'll look for that. Thank you.
Not being local, can I ask where around Low Hill is?
It's Anglezarke Moors. It's sort of between Chorley and Bolton. It's just this side of Winter Hill, between... It's just here. There's Chorley's here, Bolton's there, and Winter Hill is just here. So Roundloaf is right there on Anglezarke Moor.
To get to it, if you walk towards Great Hill, there's like an offshoot to get to it.
One of the best bets is to park up overlooking Anglezarke Reservoir, and then you can walk over to it from there. So if you park about here somewhere on the B road, it's not too far. And then there's this road here going across down towards Bolton from Preston. You can trek across from there to it as well. So it's easy to get to.
Any more questions? Back at the front, Christine?
Yeah. How would Grimsler and Longridge fit into this? Are we outside it? Are we in the Pendle one? Or
Yes, you were about to be on the Zodiac.
yeah.
Well, there's the phoenix here, which I've called the Longridge Phoenix. Longridge is just there. So you're just within the phoenix. I didn't think it was part of the zodiac, but somebody's done a rejig of the Pendle Zodiac recently, and they've mentioned that. So I'm starting to re-believe in it again. But Longridge is just there. So it's the Pendle Zodiac is sort of this area, Blackburn area. So you're between the two. Oh, another thing I should point out as well. The dragon, if you follow some of the roads around, it looks like a load of flames going across towards Pendle Hill.